Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Vinobihari Mandir in Gopinath Bhavan, Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Huh? Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Rupanuk Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai. Radha Vinobihari ji ki
Jai.
Oh, jai.
Jai.
Radha Ramana ji ki jai. Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we'll begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 in this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Gucha. Vandeham. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vitam Kamsajivam Sarvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagano Lalita Shri Vishakanditamshra Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudasham Adarya Madhurya Gunashta Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Padabhijitaika Hridni Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasara Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapanye Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaho Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshavanti Namine Pratimacharitra Swashritanam Chavarine Jiva Dukhe Sadarkaya Shri Nama Premadhanine Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine वृषभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनकारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावनन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्रिषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तो राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमनो श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीवन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवत्ततस्थितः कर्षन्नेरुस्वरैर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा सपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनं हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं करुणस्येव नस्येव नस्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can you turn your phone off, like completely? Okay.
Maybe if I turn off cellular.
You can just put it on airplane mode.
It is on our plan.
Okay.
I can try.
No. Let's
Well-
not risk it.
Well, it just takes a minute.
So we'll begin with Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, page 32, and it starts with Gurudev Kripa K-R-P-A Bindu B-I-N-D-U.
Watching. Just to be there.
I don't know if it's posted, I don't have a phone, but generally, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, if he's present, he will be adding the bhajans.
Lyrics.
I'm sorry?
Oh, the lyrics. I was saying the lyrics.
Okay, the lyrics. So just
Scroll down
scroll.
and check the comments for the bhajan.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad. Gurudev Kripa.
little bit. Evara Kuruna Karo. Page 44, E-I-V-A-R-A, Evara Kuruna Karo.
Krishna
Which we can do.
Okay.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Starts with Hari.
Starts with Hari, H-A-R-I.
Hari Haraye. You gotta spell it more. Kishori Prabhu.
H-A-R-I, H-A-R-A-Y-E.
Where is it here?
Hari Haraye.
It's page 140.
148.
148. You can read it here.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavedanta नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, श्री सद्गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। जय राधे, जय कृष्ण, जय वृंदावन। The next page. जय राधे, जय कृष्ण, जय वृंदावन। Is everyone there? Is it going? Page 150, Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, starting with Jai, J-A-Y-A. Everyone's there? It's okay?
Just go ahead.
Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavan. Radhe Brajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam.
Page 366 starts with B-R-A-J-A-J-A-N-A, Brajajana.
So Shyam is Krishna, Radhe Shyam means Radha Krishna, and then Shyama is Radhika, and then Shyam is Krishna. So Radhe Shyam, Shyama Shyam. That's Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. 366. Sorry. Sundara Hare Hare Shri Shinataya Gaur Premanande Shri Gurudev ki jai Shri Kumar ki jai Maharuvar ki jai Shri Nityananda ki jai Shri Sachinanda Gaur Hari ki jai Radha Bihari ki jai Giriraj Maharaj ki jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai Jai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Those monkeys up there.
No, those are our neighbors.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimilandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I am offering my Dandava Pranam thousands of times into the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Krishna Visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja, and the same thousands of Dandava Pranam into the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Krishna Visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of you who are present with us today, my Dandava Pranam.
Dandava Pranam. Dandava Pranam.
Is today the 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So, today is Purnima, full moon. It is also Snan Yatra, bathing of Sri Sri Jagannath Dev, disappearance of Sri Mukunda Datta, and disappearance of Sri Sridhar Pandit. Unfortunately for me, I was extremely occupied in other sevas today, and so I did not have any sufficient time to absorb myself in the glories of these divine personalities and that divine day. So forgive me. Shri Mukunda Datta ki jai, Shri Sridhar Pandit ki jai. One thing I will say about Snana Yatra of Sri Jagannath Dev. It's no ordinary day. It's actually quite exciting. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath, we've been speaking about this subject in Going Beyond Vaikuntha. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, completely absorbed in, covered in the bhav, the moods of Srimati Radhika's love and affection for Krishna. Radha bhava dyuti subalitam. Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Although he is Krishna himself, still because he's experiencing Radha's bhav, her complexion manifests externally, therefore he becomes Gauranga, golden limbs. When he was seeing Krishna, the Lord of the universe, he wasn't seeing Jagannath as we see Jagannath. But Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states very clearly that he was seeing Jagannath in the bhav of Srimati Radhika seeing her Prananath as Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. Directly Krishna of Vrindavan. So he in her mood was seeing her own Ishtadev. And when you hear Sri Jagannath Ashtakam there, Kadachit, the first verse, Kadachit Kalindi, Tata Vipina Sangita Taralo, Mudabhiri Nari, Vadana Kamalashvada Mudupa, Ramashambhu Brahma Marpati Ganeshar Chitapado, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatume. Kadachit Kalindi Tata, Vipina Sangita Taralo, always playing in his divine pastimes on the banks of Kalindi, Jamuna River. This is Krishna at Vrindavan. The next line, the next verse. Bhuje sevya venu shila shishikipi chamkatitate lukulam netrante sahachara kataksham vidatate sada Srimad Vrindavana vasati lila parichayo Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume. Bhuje Sevyavenam Shira Shishiki Picham Katitate. He's always playing his flute. Only Braj Krishna plays a flute. No other form of Krishna outside of Vrindavan plays a flute. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita also declares this quite explicitly. Dwarkadish Krishna does not play a flute. Braj Krishna plays a flute. Mujay Sevya Venum Shiri Shishiki Picham Katitate. He has peacock feathers on his head. Only Krishna of Vrindavan has peacock feathers on his head. No king needs to have peacock feathers on his head. But Krishna of Braj has peacock feathers. Dukulam netrante sahachara kataksham vidatate. He's wearing beautiful yellow cloth and always kataksham, casting sidelong glances upon his loving devotees, especially the gopis. Sada Srimad Vrindavana Vasati, always residing within Srimad Vrindavan. Doing what? Lila Parichayo, always manifesting so many beautiful pastimes to that Jagannath, that Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. Nayana Patagami Bhavatume, may you manifest within my vision, or manifest yourself to me. Rasanandi Radha Sarasavapur Alingana Sukho, who becomes happy upon embracing the form of Srimati Radharani, which is like a cool pond. Which pond? Radha Kund, of course. Because Shastra says that she is non-different from her Kund. Just as Radhika is dear to Krishna, so her Kund, Radha Kund, is similarly dear to Krishna. She's non-different from Srimati Radhika. The Kunda is non-different from Srimati Radhika. So he becomes happy upon embracing the form of Srimati Radhika, which for him is like a cool pond. And in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita it states, actually paraphrasing Krishna himself in his mood, when anyone is burning in a forest fire of separation from me, if they just call my name, then they will feel the cooling effect. What kind of cooling effect? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Millions of moons cooling their burning of samsara in this material world just by calling my name. But when I am burning in separation, what can cool my burning heart? only Srimati Radhika. So always eager for that. She is like a cool pond for him, cooling his burning heart. So our Param Gurudev, Sri Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and Sri Vinod Bihari Tatvashtakam starts with Radha Chintani Veshena Yasya Kantir Vilopita Shri Krishna Charanam Mande Radha Lingita Vigraham. About Vinod Bihari, our Gurudev did Pram Pratishta, installed our Thakurji as Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari, Shachinandan Gaurahari. Radha Vinod Bihari. What is the speciality of this golden form of Krishna? We're sitting just next to Imlitala. It's just next door. Krishna was feeling so much separation from Srimati Radhika, deeply absorbed in her. In Srimati Radhika, so much so, thinking about her and feeling separation from her, that his complexion became like hers. But there it says Radha Alingita Vigraham. Alingita means to embrace. So he is the form of Krishna who is embraced by Sri Radha. So why does this relate to Snana Yatra? Why? Because Krishna is in Dwarka. But there's a problem in Dwarka. We will hear that more in this book, Going Beyond Vaikuntha. There's a problem in Dwarka. What's that problem? Somehow, in this Bhoma realm, the Krishna of Mathura and the Krishna of Dwarka has remembrance or connection to Krishna of Vrindavan. So that Krishna in Dwarka is doing what? Always weeping, always crying, especially in his sleep, calling out the names Radhe, Lalite, Vishakhe, in deep separation from them, from those gopis of Vrindavan. Why? Because their hearts are also calling out in deep separation from him. How can he forget them? He can never reciprocate with them enough, because their love is so great. His mind is forcefully attracted there. He cannot help himself. So even in his sleep he's crying and his pillow is becoming wet, crying out to them. So the Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri represents Dwarka. There is Krishna, Baladev, Subhadra, and all of their grand glory in the palaces in Dwarka. And we know about the Ratha Yatra festival. What does that represent? Our Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he says this Ratha Yatra festival is nothing other than the mood or the expression of the sentiment of the gopis pulling Krishna back to Vrindavan on the chariot of their hearts. And this is the festival that he established all over the world. He said this is from that emotional sentiment. If you have that quote, Jiva Pavana Prabhu or Balabhadra Prabhu, can you please post it? About this Ratha Yatra festival. If you type in database, emotional sentiment, gopis, Vrindavan, it'll pop right up. So, excuse me. Snana Yatra, which takes place today, is the day of the year when Dwarkadish Krishna takes a bath and then somehow he becomes sick. Externally, it appears that he has a cold, in the same way that he could manifest the pastime of having a headache. Because he's God, he can manifest any pastime he likes. So he's manifesting the pastime of sickness from taking a bath. Snana Yatra is the day that he is taking the bath, and then it is said he becomes ill. It's not really sickness. I would call it more like love sickness, prem sickness. divine sickness and separation from his Brajabasis, especially his gopis. So then he needs to go to a place to recuperate from his sickness. And let's call it an isolation ward if you want to call it that. These days we have so many ideas. We've got quarantine, isolation, things like this. So he needs to be kept in a place where he can heal nicely. So they take him on this chariot, the chariot of the heart of the gopis, to where? Gundicha. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all of the associates of Mahaprabhu spent so much time and energy cleaning this temple, Gundicha. Because who is Mahaprabhu? Srimati Radhika. And all of his associates, Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the bhava of Srimati Radhika, and all of his associates are assisting him in this pastime to prepare for Krishna to come. So Krishna is coming on the chariot of their hearts to reside in Gundicha, which represents Sri Vrindavan Dham. Within Jagannath Puri, there are different kinds of moods present. The mood at the temple of Jagannath is very Aishwarya, full of opulence. And the mood in Gundicha is very sweet, soft, cooling, healing. So on the excuse of being sick from this snan, from this bath, Krishna is somehow going to Vrindavan. That's why at the end of a certain amount of time, there's a festival known as Her Panchami. That is Lakshmi Devi and her associates going to get Jagannath, Krishna, Dwarkadish, and bring him back to Dwarka. Because he's taking a little bit too long in his vacation home in Gundicha. So this Snana Yatra is extremely relevant to Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because the mood of that is really that he is somehow so desperate to reconnect, to go back to Vrindavan, to be with the gopis. By their love, by the potency of their love, they are calling Krishna, pulling Krishna, and he is forcibly going there by the call of their love. And he becomes completely maddened in that association that he forgets, I'm the king of Dwarka, I have so many duties, so many queens, so many other things. He's resting in Gundicha. So for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is so beautiful. Because there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the love of the gopis, and above all of them, the topmost, Sarvakanti Shiromani, the topmost crest jewel of all beloveds of Krishna, that is Srimati Radhika. Their love is calling Krishna to come. So this Snana Yatra is so much ingrained within our Gaudiya Vaishnava culture. Who is dancing in front of the chariot of Jagannath? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he's dancing in front, Jagannath's eyes are wide like this, and the chariot is moving very fast to see this darshan. Because Jagannath is also seeing the bhav, the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Srimati Radhika, and moving forward toward Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the chariots start moving very easily and very quickly. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that when Mahaprabhu goes around the back, Jagannath cannot see. So the chariot stops. And even hundreds and hundreds of elephants and thousands of people cannot pull Jagannath's chariot. He just waits. Where is she? Or where is Mahaprabhu? And then in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita it says that Mahaprabhu touches his head to the chariot. Just touches his head to the back. And then the chariot begins to move and he begins dancing in front again. All of the, you can call it symbolisms, transcendental, attractive symbolisms for Jagannath is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. It means the gopis, Brajabasis, all of that mood of love and affection pulling Jagannath toward Vrindavan. So this Snana Yatra day is so important and so powerful. and such a glorification of the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika. And so the Gaudiya Vaishnavas take, Gaudiya Vaishnava means those who are followers of Gauri, Srimati Radhika, or Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Specifically her, but Radha Krishna. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava. Specific pride in any pastime, any lila which increases or spreads or shows, highlights the glories of Srimati Radhika. Gaudiya Vaishnavas take special pride in this. Like Paitagam, that is the victory place of Srimati Radhika over all else. Such a special place. Radha Kund, the day of the midday, the place of the midday pastimes of Radha and Krishna, where Krishna makes all arrangements to go to cow grazing, to be with his friends, to take lunch with them, to be able to escape from them and meet at Radha Kund, or Srimati Radhika. There's so many beautiful, glorious places which highlight the supremacy, the superiority of Srimati Radhika. Why am I saying superiority? Because Krishna himself says, Radhika Premer Guru Ami Shishyanata. Radhika is my Guru of love, my beloved Guru, the Guru of prem, love and affection. And I am simply her dancing pupil. So this pastime of Jagannath or Krishna in Dwarka becoming sick is also directly related to the glorification of Vrishabhanunandini, Srimati Radhika, and Krishna's desperateness to go back to Vrindavan and meet with his beloved Brajvasis. Krishnana Yatra Ki Jai. Let me see. Oh. Sudevi, can you bring me the iPad? Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to enter into, we're going to go beyond Vaikuntha. This book is the commentary of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Some of his lectures on Sri Sanatan Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is specifically in this part of it, showing the progression of Gopakumar, who received mantra, this Gopal mantra, but didn't exactly receive the direct instruction where he should go. So by the power of his mantra he was carried. His intrinsic nature of loving service for the Lord in a particular aspect was being awakened gradually. But he didn't really have any direction, so he was wandering literally throughout the universe. He became the king of Jagannath Puri, he became Lord Indra, he became Lord Brahma, he became a Rudra, I believe. Then he went to Brahma Jyoti, then he went to Vaikuntha. So he's moving, shifting, going this way and that way. So he's taking quite a long time. But this is showing the progression of one who does not have direct guidance or direction. Srimad Narayan, when he saw Gopakumar, he's like, I tried in so many ways, but you were just not doing anything in bhakti. You wouldn't chant my name, you wouldn't circumambulate a temple, you wouldn't offer a lamp, you wouldn't do anything which was favorable for awakening bhakti. So I had to break my own rules and try to somehow place things in front of you to awaken you. Why did you take so long? Narayan was telling Gopakumar. So it's showing a very beautiful progression, but also showing us the lesson. Be careful. Don't get distracted. Don't get caught in so many different things. Don't waste time. When you take shelter of Sri Guru, try to go deep. Absorb the essence of the instructions of Gurudev. And try to focus on your goal so that you don't get distracted and waste millions and billions and trillions of years before attainment of your goal. There's always a moral to every story. And really that is the moral of the story here. So the Gopakumar is traveling throughout the universe. Finally he's gone to Vaikuntha, but still he's not feeling satisfied in his own heart. Even though he's in the place of perfection. Vaikuntha. There's no distress there. There's no duality. Everything is perfect. Every associate of Srimad Narayan in Vaikuntha thinks this is perfection. And if anyone has any other idea, they're like, you're crazy. So how can you express your heart? This is perfection. Why would you even think of anything else? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we acknowledge that. Sure, it's true, but why would you go there? Why would you want to go there? And they were actually practically mocking him. So what could he share of his heart? He couldn't share with anyone. Finally, that crying heart naturally calls the mercy of the Lord in the form of Guru. So, the Lord's mercy manifested to him in the form of Narad Muni, who immediately saw within his heart everything he needed to be able to progress. This is the nature of Guru. Upon seeing that disciple, immediately he can diagnose everything. All of our previous lifetimes, all of the sins we've done, all of the sukriti we've done, what our intrinsic, inherent, eternal, constitutional, particular relationship of service to what particular form of the Lord we have, how we will serve, what our dress will be, what our appearance will be, what is the nature of our service, everything he can see, diagnose, because he is Tattva Darshi. Mind you, when I'm saying he, I mean whoever is qualified. It may be she, but I'm just using the term he. As we told before, Janava Thakurani, Gangamata Goswamini, Himlata Thakurani, so many, they would also be able to see like that. If they're Chaitya Guru, oh, it's back on. Yeah, I get it now. I don't know if it's... Okay? Everyone there?
No, it says live, but you're still sitting there.
Yeah, well, I'm coming back.
So am I, John.
Ooh. It's just used as a brick to hold up the phone.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay. So, where was I? The last thing I said? I was talking about Tattvadarshi. What is a Tattvadarshi? One who's a knower and seer of the truth. So our Gurudev was explaining, Sri Narad Muni, Sri Guru, he is able to see all three phases of time. That means past, present, and future. There is nothing that is unknown. So he was able to diagnose the nature of Gopkumar's heart. What was making him feel disturbed or upset? Is it still going?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going? And then he was able to give him some instruction. So before going beyond Vaikuntha, we will pray to Sri Sanatan Goswamipada in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayanam Mam Anubhipshamandam Kripam Budiryapara Dukuduki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Praying in the dust of Sri Sanatan, the feet of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada and the lotus feet of our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, that may even a particle of their moods which is present within these pages manifest within our hearts. So our Gurudev was paraphrasing Narad Muni and telling about the nature of Gopkumar's desire, what is inside of himself and what he desires. Because he was in Vaikuntha, he could not fulfill those desires. He wanted to embrace Narayan, but there are guards there. He wants to be with Krishna, as a cowherd boy is with Krishna. Sometimes taking a nap on the same bed, embracing him, sharing food together, here, taste this, taste that. As friends do. Little friends. Little boys are running around, always playing games and like this. He wants that. But if you were to stay too long, then Lakshmi would say, no, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to leave. It's my time to serve. And then, if he wouldn't want to leave, then she would call Jai and Vijay, the guards, hey, remove this disturbance. So he was in Vaikuntha, but he wasn't feeling what everyone else was feeling. Something was amiss within him. Therefore, Narada Muni is acknowledging what is his nature, what's going on. So yesterday we were hearing about all of the different moods that the cowherd boys want to experience in their relationship with Krishna. So Gurudev was explaining that if a cowherd boy came to see Krishna in Dwarka or Narayan, how would it be for him? He would be coming back from grazing the cows, he would be dusty, he would be carrying a little crooked stick for tending cows. He would enter into the assembly, and having just returned from taking the cows out to graze, he would be dusty and in need of changing his clothes. If he arrives in that assembly, he will want to embrace Krishna. Apparently in Vrindavan, Krishna is not afraid of a little dust. But Krishna will only sit quietly. This is in Dwarka. Gurudev is giving this example. He will only sit quietly, glancing at the Gopa, the cowherd boy, only once, and not again. So I believe this is where we left off yesterday. How heartbreaking would that be? That the love of my life, my prananath, my everything, doesn't even acknowledge me. He's just glanced at me once and then he wouldn't even look at me. How would it be for that cowherd boy? Gwala bala sabat tarapa rahe hain. Beautiful bhajan that our Gurudev would have sung when we would go to Udhav Kund on the Parikrama Marg around Govardhan. There, Damodar Prabhu would sing, O Manado lage na sakiri mere shyam bina manado lage na bal bal sab tarp rahe hain. Beautiful bhajan, but the mood of the separation. How much love do the cowherd boys have? Feeling separation from Krishna, they are like a fish out of water. What does a fish do when they have no water? It means they cannot breathe. In separation from Krishna, how much love and affection do they feel? And how much separation do they feel from Krishna? So imagine, only one glance and won't even look at you. And their nature of their relationship with Krishna is they're able to run into his house at any time. Even when he's asleep in the morning and they jump up on his bed, they start shaking him and say, let's go. But now he won't even look at them. So Gurudev says that poor fellow would have come with such high expectations. The expectation that Krishna, by his quality of bhakta vatsalya, means his affectionate mood toward his devotees, possessing special affection for his devotees, will call me to come and sit near him. But that would not happen there. Instead, someone would say to him, my friend, step this way. Then the cowherd boy would see all of the opulence there and think, oh, look at this umbrella. Look at this chamara. Look at all of these people. Then he would look at himself, feel ashamed, and go away from there. In that place, Rukmini, Satyabhama, and other ladies are decorated with ornaments as queens. I remember hearing, every night we would go to bed listening to Krishna stories when we were little, when we were just, how old, 3, 4, 5? They made so many, the Golden Avatar Krishna Stories tapes. And we would go to bed listening to these different stories. And the description of Dwarka was amazing. I mean, they had the music going on in the background. Was it when Sudama entered?
Yeah.
So Sudama enters into the palace gate.
Swimming in transcendental bliss.
It's swimming in transcendental bliss. And it's saying the pillars are made of
first class transparent marble, and I'm still looking for that.
First class transparent marble. Like Sudevi's like, I want to decorate my altar. Kishori, don't come back from the marble wala unless you can find first class transparent marble. And I'm going from marble shop to marble shop and I can't find any first class transparent marble. But in Dwarka, the pillars were made of that.
That's a true story.
It's a true story. The beauty, the opulence is so amazing. It was quite attractive when we were listening to it as little children. That's one of the reasons she desired to become a queen in Dwarka. It was so awesome. So here, he would feel himself ashamed. In that place, Rukmini, Satyabhama, and the other ladies are decorated with ornaments as queens. So what would happen if an ordinary lady with flowers in her hair and wearing no costly jewelry went there? So it's very proper, very ornate, very high society. And anyone who is not dressed appropriately does not fit in. Gurudev is explaining how everyone is dressed, how their ornaments are, how the palace is, how everyone's nature is. So therefore, the gopis never go there because they would not be respected. Narad was thinking, this Gop Kumar has such a high position that he considers Krishna his dear friend. So he will never be satisfied here in Vaikuntha. Because there you cannot express that relationship. There in Vaikuntha, everything is like Shanta with some dasya ras. There's a mood, yes, he is the Lord. But there's like a neutral relationship, some servitude, but not like Hanuman's dasya prem. Krishna doesn't need anything in Vaikuntha. He doesn't need a glass of water. He doesn't need anyone's service, so to speak. There he's manifesting Atmaram Aptakam. Self-satisfied, doesn't need anything. No desire outside of himself. And so all personalities there, they're like Sarupya. They have forms which are similar to his. And of course you can recognize them as individual personalities, but he's specifically recognized as different from the others because of the Srivatsa, the lines on his chest, known as Srivatsa, which mark him specifically as Srimad Narayan. So Gopkumar has such a high position that he considers Krishna his dear friend. So he will never be satisfied here in Vaikuntha. His eternal identity, Svarup, will not be recognized here. Previously, yesterday, Srila Gurudev was telling that some of those eternal associates, some say, my friend, it's true that Narayan became Krishna for his own pleasure and the amusement of his devotees. He performed some pastime. But those pastimes are not important. This is Vaikuntha, not Braj. You should not speak such things here. For the Vaikuntha Vasis, they see that this is perfection, this is the best thing, and anything else is less. So his eternal identity will not be recognized here. They're looking at it like, why do you want to have this mood toward Narayan? Its full glory will not be realized. Excuse me. If any of us are ever fortunate enough to attain the Svarup of a Gop or a Gopi, then if we were to go to heaven or Vaikuntha, we also would not like it there. That means if our intrinsic eternal nature is to serve Krishna, to love Krishna as a cowherd boy or as a gopi, if we somehow didn't go directly to our final destination, but instead went to other areas of the Lord's pastimes, like Vaikuntha, because our own personal bhav, our intrinsic natural mood would not be able to be expressed. It would not find alignment there. We would not feel peace there. Everlasting peace means in alignment with our nature. Then we would also not like it there. Perhaps Narad would come to us, ascertain our internal state, and think to himself, she is special. She is a servant of Radhika. But he wouldn't tell anyone. He would just silently offer respects. He would understand that our eternal identity is not right for that place. Now comes the punchline. The Guru can always understand. The Guru can always understand. Similarly, Narad saw the internal sentiment of Gopkumar, understood the situation and became very pleased. Then, after thinking about what to say and what not to say, he said, after taking your pulse, I'm thinking that the disease you have is not an ordinary disease. The cure for it cannot be found in Vaikuntha. There is no medicine for it here. And by staying here, the disease will only increase. But I will now tell you how your disease may be cured. You require affection that is free of all reservations. This is called Vishrambha Bhav, the mood of intimacy. In Vaikuntha, there is only Sambrahma Bhav. So it is not the mood of intimacy, Sambrahma. Our AC has a little bit of dust in it. You feel it too? Some allergens. Our Gurudev would always tell us that we should learn, we should come to the point of having or awakening Vishramba in a mood of intimacy, in service to Sri Guru. Vishrambena Gurur Seva. This is one of the instructions of Rupa Goswami, that we should develop a deep mood of intimacy in service to Guru. One thing though that we should be aware of, Guru is in the mood of Ashray, the servitor of Krishna. This is told in Sri Guru Vashtakam. Sakshat haritve na samashta shastre uktashtata bhavyata eva sadhi. All scriptures are telling that Sakshat Hari, Guru is directly Hari, non-different. Kintu, but Prabhurya priya eva tasya. He's a special manifestation or function of the Lord. He does not have the mood or the bhav of being the Vishay or the enjoyer. He is Ashray Tattva, or the mood of the servitor. Like Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada states, there's two aspects. There's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the enjoyer, Vishay Bhagavan or Krishna. And then there's the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. How is the enjoyer enjoying? What is the enjoyer enjoying? Love and affection, the offerings of Ashray. So Guru is not in the mood of being the enjoyer. He does not take or extract the love of the disciple for himself. He only takes everything and makes it beautiful, pure and qualified, and utilizes it in the service of Krishna. Nothing for himself. We've even seen this in Balaram Rasalila. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained that his mood is as a servant of Krishna. So therefore, what does Guru do for us? Shunya amara duk Vaisnava Thakur amalagi Krishna avedivena prachur. Vaishnavira avedane Krishna doyamoy. Seeing our suffering in separation from Krishna, he petitions the Lord profusely on our behalf. And hearing that prayer, Krishna bestows his mercy. So Sri Guru does not enjoy anything of the disciple. That is not his nature. If anyone's Guru is enjoying their disciple like that, I'm not talking about receiving a foot massage and receiving the cooking and like this, but trying to enjoy the wealth of the disciple for themselves, trying to enjoy the daughters of their disciples for themselves, trying to enjoy, be the enjoyer. This is Vishai Tattva, then that is directly contradictory to the nature of Guru. Then that would be Guru, or Kanguru, as Gurudev would say. Be careful for Kanguru. Those false personalities who look like the real thing, but they come into your life and they plunder your wealth, your wife, your children, your car keys, your bank account, your everything, put it in their pocket, beat you up, and bounce out of your life. Be careful for Kangurus. Gurudev always warned us for this. Kanguru means someone who is enjoying you for themselves. And real Guru is the one who brings you from darkness to the light, who engages you and your senses in the service of Krishna. Guru has nothing to take. Nothing to take for themselves. They themselves are absorbed in the service of Krishna. They are petitioning Krishna on our behalf, crying to Krishna on our behalf for him to give mercy and for him to accept our seva. So, kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya. But he is not Krishna himself in the enjoying format. He is priya eva tasya, the near and dear devotee. Priya, the devotee of Krishna. And the devotee has no desire for any enjoyment for themselves. Akinchan, nishkinchan. Whatever is favorable for Krishna's happiness, for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's benefit, this is their desire. Anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. What is for Krishna's happiness and pleasure. So we should understand this very clearly. Guru's function is not as the enjoyer. This will make the process mayavad, where Guru is saying, I am Krishna. Does that make sense? I am Krishna. To say that and to extract enjoyment with that mood, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas smash again and again this conception with the heaviest words and heaviest teachings. There are so many who have done this in the past, and our Vaishnava Acharyas have labeled any of these groups of persons who are doing this as Apasampradaya and Sahajya. Prakrita, Sahajya. Superimposing the spiritual onto the material or the material onto the spiritual. Mundanizing the spiritual process. Or there's one group our acharyas have spoken about who believe that through our own sensual experiences and sexual experiences of this world, that we will then, through that process, be able to ascertain and understand the transcendental Nitya Lila pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Our acharyas would have none of it. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur fought so heavily against it. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada fought so heavily against it. Our Param Gurudev brought anyone to court and fought heavily against it. Our Gurudev fought heavily against it. Our Srila Prabhupada, my God. You see it everywhere in his books. He fought against these misconceptions in the name of bhakti, which bring bad name to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Our Gurudev explained that before the time of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, after the time of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a very bad name was brought to Gaudiya Vaishnavism by all of these deviations So much so that the name itself became bitter and anyone would even spit at hearing the name of Gaudiya Vaishnava. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur fought so hard to bring it back to light. Those who are disciples of our gurus and our Guru Varga have the responsibility to try to the best of their ability to maintain the glory of our Gurudev and the dignity of our Guru Varga and the process of bhakti, Gaudiya Vaishnava, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is our absolute necessity to become qualified to be able to maintain it in the proper light. So where did that come from? I was speaking about Guru. Guru can always understand what is the real nature of Guru. Here, Gurudev was talking about Vishramba Seva. Vishramba means with intimacy. Intimacy does not mean with lust. It does not mean expressing it in some debased, mundane way. That's why Rupa Goswami has given us in Shastra the very first verse of Upadeshamrita. What is it? Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jihva vegam udarapashta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam pritibim sashishyat. Who is qualified to accept disciples and to give instruction all over the world? Shishyat means followers, disciples. Who is qualified for this? Vacho vegam. Who can control the urge to speak. Means they don't speak about nonsense activities. What their speech is only related to developing a mood of love and affection, of service to Guru and Gauranga. It may be necessary for someone, we've seen Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He said actually so much more energy needs to be exercised in relation to calling out the nonsense so that people know what is not bhakti, so that we can actually show what is bhakti. So we've seen this in our Guru Varga, how they have so heavily delineated what is not bhakti from what is bhakti for our benefit. So this is a clear sign that we should not be foolish, that we should not just blindly accept anything, but we should be discriminative. They have given us the tools to discriminate for our own spiritual benefit. So, Vacho Vegam means speech. What am I speaking? Will this be for the pleasure of my Gurudev and my Guru Varga and favorable for the development of bhakti? Will it be for the glory of my Gurudev and my Guru Varga? Would I do this in front of my Gurudev? This search must be deeply sought out inside. Then we will be able to move properly. So, vacho, using our voice, our words, and these days, our fingers, in the glory and service of Guru, Hari Guru Vaishnava, and Shastra. Then, manasa, mind, my thought processes. Maharaja Ambarish is glorified as a very great king because he used everything in the service of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. Always in his mind remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. This is how the mind can be used. As we already spoke the other day, our Gurudev said you can't control your mind. So let it run wild and free, but keep a boundary around it. That boundary should be Braj Mandal. Today we sang Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopinath, Madana Mohan. As we were singing it, because our Gurudev brought us to all of those places and told us the Harikatha in those places, I was seeing them. Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nandan. I saw Ramghat and the pastimes of Ramghat because Gurudev brought us there and gave that to us. So these stavas and stutis, these bhajans are extremely powerful. Let your mind run wild, but let it run within the realm of Braj Mandal to all of the pastime places of Krishna, where you can remember those sweet pastimes. There's so much to think about, so much to remember. And not only Krishna's pastimes, but the pastimes of his pure devotees as they have gone there, or the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and sat just next door at Imlitala. And what was he remembering? On the other side, Sri Nityananda Prabhu sat at the Shringarvat, where Krishna decorated Srimati Radhika's hair. Nityananda Prabhu went there with his devotees and sat there and did kirtan and remembered these beautiful pastimes. So not only Krishna's pastimes, but also the pastimes of all of our Vaishnava acharyas. When we go to Terkadamba, just at the foothill of Nandagaon, at that place, we hear the beautiful pastime of Srimati Radhika making kheer for Rupa and Sanatan as they are discussing the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So many pastimes are there, and it goes deeper and deeper. Not only the pastimes of the Lord, Krishna and Radhika themselves, but also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, in Bandirvan, how Subal, Sakha is crying in separation, waiting there. Is it Subal or Sridham? Sridham, sorry. Crying there, waiting there for Krishna's return. So you see in all of these different pastime places, and how many of our pure devotee, Guru Varga, have gone to these locations and given Harikatha and expressed so many amazing moods. We were in Talavan with our Gurudev, and what did he say? Don't think that it has no potency, coming to all of these places and putting your head in the dust. He said, you're going here in the guidance of pure Vaishnavas, doing kirtan, hearing the pastimes of these places, placing your head in the dust. Don't think that nothing is happening. He said, you might not see any change, but I can see that so much change is there. If we're in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and we go 100 miles, and then we look in every direction, it might look exactly the same. But from a higher perspective, or from a GPS, the GPS will say, wow, you've gone 100 miles forward. In the same way, Sri Guru can recognize, can see what progress is being made. He said, don't think that there's no potency in coming to these places and hearing this Harikatha. So when I'm going to these places, not only am I remembering the pastimes of those places, but the pastimes that my Guru Varga and all of our acharyas have themselves done in those places, and what they are glorifying of other Guru Varga and other acharyas and the Lord in those places. There's so much, and it becomes actually infinite. More and more is revealed as one is going more deeply into their bhajan under the guidance of pure Vaishnavas. And then one will realize eventually, when they attain perfection, that it is Nitya Lila, eternal, unlimited, transcendental pastimes forever. And everything is eternally dynamic. So there will be no loss, always remembering the beautiful and sweet pastimes of Krishna and his devotees. So mana, that is how to control the urge of the mind. Krodha Vegam, Gurudev said when he was talking about anger, he said, Krodha Vegam, don't be angry. We can see what anger does. What happens when someone is angry? They see everything tainted with red. Our Gurudev said, don't be angry. He said, Hanuman and Arjuna, they may be able to control their anger, because they are pure devotees of Krishna and they're following the order of Krishna, and therefore their anger is exclusively for Krishna's happiness, pleasure and benefit. Therefore their anger is properly placed. Arjuna was able to fight on the battlefield of Kurukshetra for Krishna's pleasure, on his order. He had to be angry, but he used that anger exclusively in Krishna's service. Hanuman burned down the entire Lanka. Ram was so pleased with him, because his act of burning down Lanka was exclusively for the service of Sri Ram. And he understood the heart of Sri Ram. Why does the Lord appear in this world? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, to protect the devotees and to destroy the demons. So, Hanuman, his devotee, was assisting him in the service of destroying the demons. So burning down the city of Lanka, because they had set fire to his tail. This was also service to Sri Ram. But Gurudev said, for us, don't be angry. He said, why? In your anger, you will not be able to discriminate. He said, you will just be angry, and everything you see, you will burn. Even if any great Vaisnava comes in front of you, you'll burn him also with your eyes, with your anger, he said. So don't be angry. And many devotees would come to Gurudev, Gurudev, I have a problem with anger. What should I do? What should I do? He said, every time you get angry, immediately drink a glass of water. So they followed his instructions. And what was the result? One, the cooling effect of the water. But immediately, as soon as anger would come, they would remember the order of Gurudev. And they would go to get the glass of water. But just because they immediately remembered the pure devotee and the order of the pure devotee, already their heart was becoming cooled. Isn't that beautiful? Krodha Begam, Jitva Begam. The desire to want to taste so many wonderful things. The desire of the tongue. Sharira avidyajal jatindriya tahekal. Jive phele vishaya shagare. Tar madhye jiva ati lobhamoy sidurmati. I'm not singing this so that everyone gets hungry right now. Takijita kutina sangsare. Krishna borodoyamoy karibari jivaja. Swaprashada nadilabhai. Se anamritapa radha Krishna gunagao. Premirako chaitanya nitai. Most people love it. They're singing this prayer like, woo, it's time for prasadam, and they're banging on their plates and they're like, yeah, let's eat. But how often do we think about the meaning of this prayer? Sharira, avidya, jal. This body is like liquid ignorance. It's like a lump of ignorance, avidya. Jitendriya, sharira avidya, jitendriya tahekal. And these senses are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, sense of touch. Did I miss something? I think I said 5. These senses are dragging us to death. Network of paths leading to death. Jive, sharira abhijajal, jitandriya tahekal, jive phele vishaya shagare. Of all of the senses, the tongue is the most uncontrollable. Jihve, jihva, jihve pele, vishaya sagar. Vishaya means enjoyer, and sagar means ocean. So in this case, it just means endless ocean of lust. This tongue is like this. Jive pele vishaya sagare. Tar madhye jiva ati. Among all of the senses, the tongue is certainly that. What is it? Lobhamoy sudurmati. Lobhamoy means extremely greedy, always desiring to taste so many things. Sudurmati. Su means extremely. Durmati means wicked. Of all of the senses, the tongue and its desire to want to taste everything. This is how it is described in this prayer by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur to Mahaprasad. We're sitting there banging our plates and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a pretty heavy prayer. Takejita kutina sangsare. It is very difficult to conquer over the tongue. But Krishna Borodoyamoy, oh Krishna, you are so merciful. Koribari Jiva Joy. For the tongue, you have given something. Something to conquer the tongue. Svaprashad, your own mercy. You have given your own mercy. Svat prasad. Prasad means mercy. It is coming in the form of foodstuff, but it is the mercy of Krishna. Say anamritapao. Now we will take this prasad. We will honor this prasad, or as our Gurudev said, we will serve this prasad. Say ana amrita pao. Ana means grain, not foodstuffs. Amrit is nectar, because it is not material, it is transcendental. What will we do when we are taking this prasad? Radha Krishna Gunagao. We will sing the glories of Radha and Krishna. Preme Dako. And with love we will call out for the help, for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Preme Dako Chaitanya Nitai. So this jihva, this tongue, desiring to taste everything, so greedy. This is the nature of this tongue. So it is controlled or conquered or helped by honoring Krishna Prasad. But not for Vaishnavas having so many feasts every day, always trying to satisfy, because I'm not at that level. Or I'm looking at this as Krishna's mercy. What am I looking at it as? I'm looking at it as, this is for my enjoyment. Let me have so many feasts every day. Let me fill my belly. Let me enjoy the taste of this and that and this and that. And I think, oh, it's the prasadam, it's so amazing. I want to enjoy that prasadam. No. We should not have the desire to enjoy prasadam. Prasadam is not different from Krishna. Mahaprasade Govinde. It's not different from Krishna. Krishna is not to be enjoyed by us. We are to be enjoyed by Krishna. That is the meaning of Vishai. He's the enjoyer. I'm the Ashray. I'm the servant. So how should I approach this Mahaprasad? With a very humble mood. Praying actually, please don't let me look at you for my enjoyment. Please let me look at you as I am your servant, and that I'm accepting this in the form of mercy. It's all about the mood and the shift in consciousness. Not for my pleasure, for Krishna's pleasure. This is bhakti. This mood is bhakti. Otherwise it is something else. Some benefit will be there, but it is like the result of nam aparad. If I'm chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is non-different from Krishna, and I have a heart full of material desires, and I'm doing it for any purpose other than Krishna's pleasure, then I'm chanting Nam Aparad. What is the result? It is the increase of material wealth, the increase of material sense gratification, the increase of pratishta, name, fame, adoration, and all of these things. Same with Mahaprasad. It is also non-different from Krishna. And if I'm approaching Mahaprasad with the mood that I want to enjoy, then Krishna will give that reciprocation. Increase of Kanaka Kamini Pratishta. It's not that we should not honor Mahaprasad. Some effect is there. Gradually, over time, it will have its purifying effect. But if we can learn under the guidance of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas how to properly approach Mahaprasad, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, don't take food too luxuriously. It will increase lust. Try to avoid that. It'll put pressure on the other senses. So take very simple. Yes, we hear in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita about the rice, which has so much ghee in it that it's slipping off the plate. Every once in a while they would have a feast like this. But this is not the recommendation for those who are serious to move forward on the path of bhakti, that they should always be trying to satisfy their tongue in the name of taking Mahaprasad. Vaishnavas should take very simply. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this lesson to Raghunath Das Goswami. Don't take luxurious foodstuffs. So what did Raghunath Das Goswami do? He is our Prayojan Acharya, the Acharya or the Guru, teaching us how to attain our goal. He didn't even beg out in front of Jagannath Mandir. What did he do? They would throw the old rice that no one else would take. It was too old, it was rotting. They would throw it off the side somewhere. Even the cows wouldn't take it. It was that off, that bad. He would take that and wash it. Wash all the slimy stuff off. Then he would dry that. And he would honor that as his prasadam. Even the cows wouldn't take it. What kind of deep, desperate kind of service to Mahaprasad. His mood of not wanting to enjoy. One time it is said Srila Kishori Babiji Maharaj had a thought that he wished to taste something for some spiritual reason even. But then he began to curse himself. Oh, why did you want to taste that very tasteful thing? You wicked mind, I will give you something. He would just take neem leaves, bitter food, or eat the mud of Jamuna or Ganga. And by this he went blind. So not always trying to taste and then trying to fill the belly. It starts here and it goes in a line. If one is always trying to enjoy luxurious foods and filling the belly, then their passions are inflamed. Their sensual or sexual passions also. One cannot control these things. So who cannot control the tongue? Who cannot control the belly? Who cannot control the genitals? They are not fit to make disciples or accept followers all over the world. This is the qualification for who is qualified to make disciples all over the world. They should be able to control all of these urges. So in talk about Vishramba Bhav, Vishramba means deep intimacy. That intimacy means I'm serving with my life, my soul, offering everything. Manasa deho geho jo kichumor arpilu tuapade. Nanda Kishore. Bhaktivedanta Thakur is saying, mind, body, family, everything that has been connected with what I thought was mine, I am offering at your lotus feet. I am yours, and everything in connection with me is yours. You can do with me as you like. And he's saying to Krishna, Gurudev told first apply this mood at the feet of Sri Guru. But we should know for sure and certain that Guru will not use it for his own pleasure, but will only turn everything into the pleasure of Krishna. That everything should be utilized in his service. Vishramba Seva also. Here is Vishramba Bhav is mentioned, this mood of intimacy. It doesn't mean that you have to be physically in the presence of your Gurudev. One can be so intimate with the heart of Gurudev that they're able to fulfill the mano bhishta of Gurudev, the inner heart's desire. And this is really the deepest form of Vishramba Seva. The deepest form of intimacy, inner heart's desire. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Srila Rupa Goswami, he fulfilled the inner heart's desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by establishing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give in this world. Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam. Mano Bhishtam means the deepest internal desire. Mano Abhishta. Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam. He is that personality. Rupa Goswami understood the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaja explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him free access to his heart, that he could plunder, he could swim to the depths of the ocean of his heart and collect any jewels and any treasures and manifest it to the world. One does not open their heart like this to just anyone. Only that nearest and dearest, most trusted person of their heart. That Vishramba. That kind of intimacy, where one understands the mood, the mind, the heart of their Guru and serves their Guru without ever even having to be asked perfectly. They know how their Guru is pleased and how their Guru is satisfied. Whether one is physically or not physically present, they understand how to serve properly. And by this, they will learn how to serve Krishna with intimacy. As I asked my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, how can I develop love for Guru, for you, and then for Radha and Krishna? He said, when you begin to realize, understand, and appreciate what a valuable treasure Guru is giving, more valuable than millions of treasures of this world, without expecting anything in return, when you begin to understand and appreciate that, then automatically your love for Guru will develop. And then from there, and he just made this motion very easily for Radha and Krishna. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rupan Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai, Shri Gop Kumar ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Short calling out.
Really?
Hare
सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, राधा बिहारी जी की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरे राम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि गोविंद नाम नरमाधवे गोविंद नाम So thank you very much for being with us today and engaging us in remembering the beautiful teachings of our Gurudeva and our Guru Varga, just participation. And we look forward to being with you tomorrow. And Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radha Vinodi Hari Ju.